When most people talk about their favorite movie or movies, it's more of a general kind of thing. Oh, I love this movie, so it's my favorite. Or I love this movie, it's one of my favorites. Not so for me. I make a list. I'm a list kind of guy. I actually have a favorite movie of all time. In fact, I have my favorite 41 movies of all time, and I update it every year. Yes, I'm that sick. But my favorite movie of all time, and it's not a surprise or a secret, is the Lord of the Rings movies. And I count them as one movie because they really are one story. And that story will be added to very soon with The Hobbit and those two movies. And I think we'll consider those movies separate from the Lord of the Rings movies because they are. It's a different book, it's really a different story. But those two movies will count as one movie in my book as well, for sure. But I wanted to mention a couple things I'm really excited about with The Hobbit started filming recently, and just I get so giddy knowing they're making more of this Tolkien stuff for me to see on the screen. The first thing I have to say is the casting that I've heard so far has just been phenomenal. I'm so excited. I'm excited for one that Peter Jackson is actually directing it. Originally it was going to be Guillermo del Toro, I think, and then it was somebody else, and then eventually it landed in Peter's lap again, and I'm glad for that. I think that'll offer some consistency with The Lord of the Rings. But the cast that he's picking, I'm just so impressed. Right off the bat, for Bilbo, Martin Freeman. What a choice. Such a great choice to play this role. I love Martin Freeman in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a movie that not a lot of people loved, I guess, but I think he is phenomenal in it. And of course, in the original British version of The Office, this guy is funny, sincere, has depth and meaning to him. It's a perfect choice for this role. And then, of course, all the people coming back, you know, Legolas, Orlando Bloom, and just all of them that are going to... I think even Frodo's going to be in this somehow. It must be some sort of storyteller or something like that. But Andy Serkis, glad to see him back as Gollum. And then there's a rumored casting that I hope so bad comes true, and that's David Tennant, who was the previous Doctor on Doctor Who. If you're a Doctor Who nerd like I am, you know what that means. Matt Smith is the Doctor now, but before him, David Tennant was the Doctor, and just an amazing, funny, quirky, wonderful actor, and I so hope he's in this movie. That would just completely make my day. But the second thing I wanted to talk about with the Hobbit movies coming out is 3D. They're coming out in 3D, and there is such a backlash right now to 3D that I feel like I have to be the defender of 3D. It's a great technology. The reason there's a backlash, I think, is because so many of the movies are trying to capitalize on the trend, on the gimmick, on the fad, and so they release these movies that are post-converted to 3D very poorly, and it looks awful. The Last Airbender being the worst offender, which is a bad movie in a lot of ways beyond the 3D, but the 3D in that is awful. It's you just want to gouge your eyes out. It's so bad. But 3D, when it's done right, adds so much to the story. Avatar is a great example. Toy Story 3 is a phenomenal example. You watch that movie, you almost don't realize it's in 3D, but if it wasn't, it wouldn't have that same power, the same, forgive me, depth that it does in 3D. And I think eventually, if we can get through the fad and the capitalization on it, 3D will be commonplace as color has become, as sound had become. And when sound was considered a gimmick when it started, the idea that actors would actually talk their words, how silly is that? But now, of course, it makes sense. It's just another way to tell a story, and it's not bad, and audiences do enjoy it. The numbers bear that out. So I guess I don't have to defend the entire 3D thing from all the backlash that's happening, but I love 3D movies, and I cannot wait to see, especially The Hobbit in 3D coming, what is it, next winter, next Christmas? It's not 2011, it's 2012, I think, so I've still got a bit to wait, but I'm giddy, and I imagine it will be on that list of 41 movies once all is said and done.